Let me tell you something. The Florida market of Kratom is about to have its most dramatic transformation since the original banning of 7-hydroxymetrogenine. For those of you who've been following along with the channel, you're well aware that we've talked about the synthetic, semi-synthetic products that have hit the market. And in the state of Florida, while 7-OH was made illegal roughly a year ago, new products rose up and took its place in probably the most nefarious way possible. What I mean by that is everyday Kratom products on the shelves of smoke shops and gas stations across Florida did not advertise all of the ingredients that they had on their package. And at first, it looked like a proprietary blend. And once the proprietary blend tactic was outlawed, they started to list all the ingredients, but not the ones that mattered and not the semi-synthetics. And so hundreds of millions of dollars have flowed from the manufacturer to the distributor to the retailer and out of the pockets of the everyday Kratom consumer in the state of Florida, many of whom think they're taking a regular Kratom product, but they're not. They're taking something that's laced with MGM or pseudo or any number of derivatives. So when I say that the market is changing, a new emergency rule has taken place outlawing all of the semi-synthetic derivatives. There's a list of 7 alkaloids that are no longer allowed in Kratom. Some of them are allowed but cannot exceed 1,000 parts per million. And parts per million is just the prevalence of an alkaloid or a compound within a certain solution of product. 1,000 parts per million of 7-OH does not register. You're not going to feel that. So previously it was 400. It's been raised to 1,000. That being said, you're going to see massive changes of the products available to you on the shelves. And if you're a consumer of some of these well-known brands that have been giving you a buzz similar to 7-OH for the last year, you're probably not going to get the same effect from these products, and you need to know why. They're not allowed to have those special ingredients in there, whether they're listed or not listed. Retailers, distributors alike, are terrified right now of going to jail for selling a Schedule 1 semi-synthetic product. And my only bone of contention, as you guys know, I'm not a prohibitionist, I'm not a huge advocate for semi-synthetics, is that the consumer, you specifically, deserve to know each and every ingredient that you're taking. And what's happened is that people going through enhanced withdrawal from presumably Kratom are actually withdrawing from the synthetics, and they have no idea. And only one finger pointed to blame, and that's on Kratom. So it makes the whole landscape difficult. Beyond the changes that you're going to see in Florida, there's another thing that hit the radar yesterday. There's a compound out there that many of you have brought to my attention called SR-17. Full term is SR-17-018. It's a research chemical, and it's not approved for human consumption. It's been around for a little while. What it does, essentially, is it binds to the opioid receptors without giving you a buzz, but it preoccupies them, so many people have reported being able to get off of an opiate without withdrawal. We're talking about fentanyl or heroin or Kratom or 7-hydroxy. For some people, they're saying that it's worked wonders. I don't have a ton of experience on this. I'm not saying that you should try it. I'm not saying that I have any sort of medical background here to give you advice. I'm just saying that it's a relatively unknown compound that seemed to have very high therapeutic benefits. As of yesterday, the federal government has listed a 30-day period where after that 30 days and after receiving public comment, the entire class of drugs, just like SR-17, will become a Schedule 1. And for those of you who don't know, possession of a Schedule 1 narcotic is a really big offense. It can result in many years behind bars and also makes it very difficult for the medical community to study those compounds and determine if they're safe or viable. So again, I'm not placing my value on it and saying that it's safe or viable. I'm just saying that if you look it up online, you're going to find a huge community of people whose lives it's changed, presumably for the better. And that option will be taken off the table. Never mind the fact that some of the same bad actors in the Kratom community got their hands on SR-17 and were already working on adulterated forms where they were slipping in MGM-15 or they were slipping in 7-OH. And the reason why is because something like SR-17 doesn't really have the sales potential that something like 7-OH or MGM or pseudo-anoxyl has, because once you're done consuming it and you've gotten out from under the grips of an addiction to an opiate-like product, you don't really need more. And that's a problem because the product sells itself into extinction. They knew that going into it. They were already adulterating it, and now the therapeutic version of it, or potentially a therapeutic version of it, is off the table. And I think that's a sad day for people who enjoy their personal liberties or enjoy their ability to be able to experiment on themselves. Just like with SR-17, the federal government is planning to schedule 7-hydroxymetrogenine, MGM-15, pseudo-anoxyl, and a number of other compounds that are semi-synthetically derived from Kratom as a Schedule 1 federally. That means every state in America. What that could mean is a saving of Kratom in some of the states that have banned it. They had a lack of enforcement, a lack of education. When 7-OH and all the semi-synthetics leave the table, it will allow people to maybe revisit the subject of natural leaf kratom or even basic kratom extracts. The caveat here, for those of you who are in the know, you know that all kratom products are going to contain naturally derived levels of 7-hydroxy. The federal allotment for naturally derived 7-OH is 500 parts per million. Previously in the video I mentioned Florida had 400 parts per million. Now it's 1,000 parts per million, and the federal government says it's 500. So we'll see how all the chips fall, whether Florida revises it and goes down to 500 or they keep it at 1,000. It doesn't really matter for Pure Infinity Botanicals because we have had our products below 400 parts per million since the emergency rulings launched roughly a year ago. Those of you who are watching that are still actively consuming 7-OH, plan for it to go away, and you need to plan for the products that you think might be your fallback solution to become more sketchy. There are going to be these companies who have been making the semi-synthetics for the last couple of years, who've been making hundreds of millions of dollars. They don't want to go away. They don't want the money to dry up. So it's going to make them more creative. They're going to come out with more derivations, different products, things that do some of the same things that 7-OH once did to try and recapitalize on that. All the while, regular kratom companies like ourselves have to go through more hoops and loops and more scrutiny in order to remain compliant. So what we will continue to do as your advocates for this industry, along with some others, is try to put forth the most transparent products, the most education possible, and stay consistent and clean for as long as we possibly can, and ride the regulatory waves to continue doing business and to continue to try and add value to our consumer base. As always, I know you guys have been tuning in for a little over a year. We're grateful for all the support, even some of the negative comments that we get. If you do watch this video and you found some value, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Otherwise, have a great day.